Toy Story was revolutionary in the animation industry. Released in 1995, it was the first film to be fully animated in CGI, and was also the first animated feature released by Pixar Animation Studios. Future films released under the banner will put Pixar on the map as one of the biggest animation giants. What we're looking at here is the pre-Incredibles era, back before Pixar figured out how to make humans look good in 3D. DreamWorks, however, would beat them to it in 2001 when they released Shrek. Nowadays, there's a lot to compare it to, but think how amazing the first Toy Story looked upon release. It was a grand achievement unlike any other before it. Nowadays, there are 4 Toy Story movies, with a 5th film set to release next year, and there's also a spin-off that didn't do well compared to the main series, but let's not get into that. All these movies share common themes, sticking together through thick and thin, and also the concept of growing older. In fact, in the 3rd film, the original owner, Andy, is about to go to college, leaving those old toys behind. But it's obvious the memories are going to stay with him. Just like me and other people who have watched these movies since childhood. Never again will we truly experience the childhood joy of being exposed to these features, but they're still full of positive memories, and even as adults, there's much to think about. A childlike setting with a sort of adult atmosphere.
This is for Woody, when you find him.
Alright, but I don't think it'll mean the same coming from me.
Now, because I've suddenly grown an interest in pointing out dumb moments from some of my favorite movies, I may as well go over some with the Toy Story movies. That's not to say these moments can't be entertaining, but they're definitely the kind of moments when you really look at them, you just be thinking, there's no way that actually happened. That's my focus here. I'll be going through all 4 movies to highlight those kind of scenes. Now that the preface is out of the way, here's my top 10 dumbest Toy Story moments. Number 10. The 3rd Toy Story movie is probably the darkest in the whole series. Most of it has to do with the obstacles it presents. The danger of having a lit rocket strapped to your back and leaping off a plane that's taking off now suddenly feels like child's play. Now they're trying to escape a daycare that's under the dictatorship of a strawberry-scented teddy bear. But even that felt pretty standard once they're left at the dump. The incinerator in particular was a huge standout moment from my memory of first watching this movie in the theater. It just screams childhood trauma. It's especially gutting when the toys give up on trying to escape and hold hands to brace for their eventual demise. But then they get saved by the aliens operating a claw machine. It's an uplifting moment in an otherwise dark scene. But doesn't it make you wonder how the heck they got to the claw machine? Last we saw the aliens, they got pushed away by a bulldozer, shortly before another bulldozer pushed everyone else on the conveyor belt. So where did the first bulldozer take the aliens, and how did they handle the situation?
This doesn't make any sense.
Number 9. Now let me clarify by saying the climax of the first movie is easily the best part of the experience. The most iconic is of course when the rocket is lit and Buzz and Woody blast off into the sky. But just before it explodes, Buzz activates his wings to loosen the tape, then they're falling in very sudden cinematic excellence.
This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
I don't know about falling with style, but it's hard to say they're really flying either. After all, the commercial earlier in the film said Buzz was not a flying toy. It didn't say anything about gliding. Yeah, they're gliding. I guess the wind caught under Buzz's wings, but these are plastic, not paper. This scene does leave a few questions when you think about them as an adult, doesn't it?
Where is your honor, dirtbag?
Number 8. Toy Story 4 is a visual demonstration of just how far Pixar had come since the 90s, and that the animation has seen a huge upgrade, but the story leaves a lot to be desired. That's not to say I think the 4th movie is bad, it's just that the 3rd movie felt like the perfect conclusion. So what would be the conflict that's first presented to us in the 4th film? A new companion that Bonnie crafts to help her get through kindergarten. Introducing Forky, a spork with a pipe cleaner for arms and popsicle sticks for feet. Oh, and it comes to life just like the toys.
Hello! Trash! Shh, no, it's okay. Trash!
Woody, I have a question. Well, actually not just one. I have all of them. I have all the questions.
Okay, I can accept Bo Peep being alive, even though she's really a porcelain figure for a kid's lamp. It's really about as close to a toy as you can get. I can also accept Ham being alive, even though he's a piggy bank, though often treated as a toy. But this is a craft made by a kindergartner. I don't know, man. Is this the right line to draw here? Hard to tell.
It can't be serious.
Number 7. It's still really early in the second movie, just before Woody's arm gets a rip, setting the rest of the plot in motion. Andy only had 5 minutes before leaving for cowboy camp, so what will he do with that time? It had to be a quick scenario with his toys.
Help, help, somebody help me! Let her go, evil Dr. Porkchop!
So the scenario itself is simple. Woody rescues Bo from evil Dr. Porkchop with the help of Buzz Lightyear. But look at this. Army men in formation, Buzz riding RC out of a box to drive over a ramp. I'm no expert, and I can only really speak from personal experience, but I'm pretty sure that entire setup would have taken longer than 5 minutes. It doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things, but dang, that setup sure was quick, wasn't it?
Oh, this is just sad.
Number 6. What we're talking about here is a major selling point for the third movie. While they were trying to restore Buzz's memory, the toys accidentally switched him to Spanish mode.
Bitácora espacial. Me he despertado del hipersueño en un planeta extraño.
Okay, that's a little weird, especially since it was done by holding the reset button for longer than 5 seconds. But what's even stranger is how he switched back. Not by the same method they switched languages before, that would make too much sense. It takes place inside the garbage truck while it's being loaded. When a TV starts falling in, Buzz sacrifices himself to save Jessie. Not only does he survive the impact, when he wakes up, he's back to normal, complete with speaking English again.
That wasn't me, was it?
Oh, Buzz, you're back! You're back! You're back! You're back!
Yes, I'm back.
Of course, it's the classic amnesia trope where a shocking blow to the system brings back your memory. But we're talking about memory that had been lost because he was switched to demo mode. It's all a technical thing. I wouldn't think it's something easily cured just by taking a beating like that.
What, have you all lost your marbles?
Number 5. Well, it's true that Al stole Woody from the yard sale and is only selling the Woody's Roundup collection to the museum in Japan for monetary gain. I don't exactly consider him a villain in the second movie. That title really belongs to Stinky Pete. He knows Woody still has an owner, but does everything he can to convince him to stay, which includes turning on the TV in the middle of the night and tightening the screws on the ventilator. Both of these actions required him to get out of his box, but think back to how he was first introduced.
It's a box.
He's mint in the box! Never been opened!
How did no one figure out sooner that he could just leave his box whenever he pleases? It's not like Buzz where he had to struggle to get out of the spaceship he was fastened inside. Especially in the case of the TV remote, Pete would have to be out of the box for the plan to work without getting caught by Jessie. Not like Woody believed her innocence anyway.
You calling me a liar?
If the boot fits.
Number 4. By the time Woody got inside the moving van, the heat with the other toys hadn't quite died down yet. Earlier in the picture, Woody's scheme to hide Buzz from Andy backfired and ended up knocking him out the window.
Buzz! Buzz!
Of course, this created a lot of animosity from the other toys, believing he did it on purpose. But then during the final act, he incurs their wrath again, except this time he's using RC as a means to retrieve Buzz and bring him to the truck. No time to explain, makes sense. But then look at this. So spinning Woody around also causes RC to drive in circles? Maybe as long as the wheel remains turned, but the part that can't be explained is this.
Big file!
How did Ham landing on Woody's back cause RC to jump? Is there a jump on the remote control? Doesn't seem like there is. I guess the only explanation is that there's more to RC than meets the eye.
Shut up! Just shut up, you idiot!
Number 3. This time we're not talking about anything largely nitpicky. With the last 3 entries, there were some interesting writing decisions made. What we have here is a recurring element in the 4th movie. It starts when Woody talks to Buzz about an inner voice that advises him to keep Forky out of danger. Buzz believes that inner voice to be the voice lines installed into the toys.
It's a secret mission in Uncharted 3. Let's go!
Not only that, he relies on that inner voice to guide him throughout most of the film.
The slingshot maneuver is all we've got. Full speed ahead.
Forget that he's gotten past that whole Space Ranger phase years ago. Can't he think for himself? In the second movie, he gets the idea to use collective weight to get in and out of Al's toy barn. In the third movie, he comes up with this elaborate scheme to escape the Caterpillar room through the transom. Here, he's on display as a prize for a carnival game, and he's getting kicked in the face by a jealous other prize.
This planet is toxic. Closing helmet to conserve oxygen.
He really needed the voice line for the idea to close the helmet on the duck's foot, using it as a means to escape? How did Buzz get so dumb again in this movie?
Oh no.
Oh, yes. Return of the Astronaut.
Number 2. At the beginning of the third movie, most of the toys are worried about being thrown in the trash, even if Woody reassures them they'll be put in the attic. If there's anything we gathered about Woody, with all he's been through, there were questionable choices he made, but it seems like the toys still highly respect him as a leader. But that respect is put to the test when Andy put all the toys in the trash bag except for Woody, who he's taking to college. Of course, his intention was to put the other toys in the attic, but he gets distracted and his mom mistakes the bag for actual garbage and leaves it on the curb for the garbage truck. These are all things Woody sees with his own eyes, but when he tries to tell the others about it, they don't believe him.
Andy's mom thought you were trash.
Yeah, after he put us in a trash bag.
And called us junk.
Yeah, I know. It looks bad. But guys, you gotta believe me.
Yeah, they really should believe him. It makes the most sense to believe him. But I guess that wouldn't allow for enough conflict, right? We gotta get to the plot somehow.
What is your problem?
Number 1. The fourth movie does something very insulting in its finale, a decision that makes you question what is meant by the information gathered from the first 3 movies. So all the loose ends are tied, Forky is returned to Bonnie, and Gabby finally found a new owner. It seemed like the last thing to do is for Woody to get back to Bonnie, but then Buzz says something weird.
She'll be okay. Bonnie will be okay.
Let's think about what we just heard and think about the first movie.
It doesn't matter how much we're played with. What matters is that we're here for Andy when he needs us. That's what we're made for, right?
Granted, Woody forgot about all that at first when Buzz came into his life, but he soon got a hold of himself by the end. In the second film, he seriously considered going to the museum, even turning down his old friends once they found him, but again, he eventually remembered what's really important. In the third movie, it was because of Woody that the toys had switched owners. There, it was more poignant than anything because it was a choice he made all on his own. Here, with a bit of outside influence, he's breaking the very philosophy he himself spread to the other toys. I'm sure at some point Bonnie would have included Woody in her playtime, but now that Woody's decided to stay with the lost toys, that's just not going to happen. Way to leave behind your owner, your friends, and your philosophies.
You guys don't get it, do you?
You know what? This was actually the perfect time to make this video because in November this year, the Toy Story franchise will be celebrating its 30th anniversary. However, this same franchise is also an evolving beast that only gets bigger the more attention we give it. The first 2 movies are undeniable classics. I think we can all agree they were well worth the time and effort put into them, especially back in the day. But I also think Toy Story was at its peak with the third movie. It felt like such a satisfying conclusion too. But then we have the fourth film, which clearly tells us the series isn't quite over until Pixar says it's over. That could take a while. At the very least, we could hope for Toy Story 5 to be an improvement over 4. Inside Out 2 was actually really good, maybe right up there with its predecessor, so maybe Toy Story 5 has a chance. Nah, doubtful. Anyway, happy 30th anniversary to Toy Story. These movies will be of high nostalgic value for infinity and beyond.